Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. Will, JJ, and I, the OGs, we're back together. We're talking about Marvel Zombies today, the new 4-episode series on Disney Plus, continuing off the What If episode about Marvel Zombies. And so, yeah, we're just going to talk about this as a whole, give a ranking at the end or letter grade. So, what were your guys' general impressions of Marvel Zombies?
As a Marvel show, I think it was pretty solid. As a zombie show, I think it was pretty mid. Overall, just kind of average. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff in it, but I have a lot of gripes with it too.
Yeah, and we've been talking in our chat, and I'm sure we'll bring all that stuff up. Will, your general impressions?
Kind of similar to what like JJ was saying. Just to me, I was like, all right, it's okay. There was a lot of moments where it caught my attention, but I felt myself just having to turn my brain off in a lot of circumstances, just because I was like, if I think too much into it, it's gonna not make sense. So, but I was like, it's based on a what if story, so just enjoy like the good parts, and there were a good amount of things that I enjoyed.
Yeah, we'll get into it, I'm sure, here. I mean, like, I definitely turned my brain off for some of it. I thought the visuals were really good. I thought some of the action was really good. But then as I was talking about it with you guys in our chat, I'm like, yeah, I see where you guys are coming from. I do think some of the characters weren't done as great as they could have been. And I definitely think there's a lot more questions of, like, how did this happen to these characters? Like, how did these characters get infected, as I'm sure we'll talk about? Because when you think about it, it kind of makes no sense. And I think Will and I also brought up, I know, like, it started because Hank and Janet brought this back from the quantum realm in the What If episode, so I guess that's how certain characters would have gotten infected, but I don't think it's, like, explained still as much as it probably should have been. So
yeah, Thanos and Captain Marvel and Scarlet Witch are the three that I'm really irritated about them being infected. Like, the rest of the characters, I guess I can understand. Definitely, like, Captain America on the ground fighting. Iron Man, maybe a little bit of a stretch, but I could see it. But, like, the level of power that they are giving to those three characters, I just don't understand how, in a fight with zombies, they got turned.
Yeah.
Or, like, my thing is, too, it's just, like, I mean, we're going to kind of get a little bit ahead here. So, like, as a lot of people who've seen it know, like, Wanda, once again, is the center villain or antagonist around this all. And the thing that trips me up is, okay, here we go again. Wanda's evil. We're doing this story for, like, the third time. It's kind of crazy. But, like, why, like, she was so, this is the thing that trips me up, because the timeline that this was taking place was after, like, right around Infinity War.
Right.
So we didn't even have WandaVision yet.
Yeah.
So, like, we didn't even have, like, her having kids.
Right.
So, like, my thing is, like, why is it she just going evil again? Like, what,
yeah.
Like, unless I'm, like, missing something, or, like, I'm not, like, connecting a dot or something, because, like, the thing is, like, that got me a little frustrated was, okay, so Wanda has enough power and control to where she can still have her own thoughts throughout the virus, but yet her still number one, like, motive is, I'm just going to take over the world. Like,
yeah,
is that more implying that the virus, like, really just brought out a bad side of her chaos magic? Like, is that what we're working with? Because it's like, at this point, it's like, I don't even think going forward you could ever make Wanda a hero. Like, because she's been in more projects now at this point, I think, where she's just recognized as a villain or antagonist at the very least.
Right.
But then it's like, all right, we gave her that treatment, but it was like, why didn't we do that with Thanos? Thanos was holding, like, the Infinity Gauntlet at some point. You telling me, like, that power didn't, like he's doing something on instinct, you know what I mean? So it's like, why wasn't he the one? You know what I mean? I felt like that could have been something cool. But no, we wanted to recycle making Wanda the villain, which, in my opinion, kind of defeats the purpose of giving her all these power-ups. Like it's just like, all right, you just boosted her power just to keep her a villain.
My theory on her being evil, honestly, they should have never made her good at all in the MCU and just let her always be an evil character, because that would just be better.
Yeah.
She probably has something deep seated that it's just like she needs something to trigger her going to that side of herself, and like the zombie virus is another one of those things. But I would rather have a new villain. I also just kind of figured that whatever this is, like, it is using Wanda to take over the world so that it can spread itself more efficiently.
Right.
But if that's the case, I want that explained in show, because that's much cooler than Wanda trying to take over the world.
Right. And then, like, it would also then, from there on, once Wanda being infected, that would make a bit more sense why you have, like, characters like Thor or Captain Marvel getting infected, because then it's like, all right, the virus was enhanced by the chaos magic that was. And it's, like, kind of, like, implied when you, like, see, like, the army fight, and then even like zombie Thor, like he is enhanced because of Wanda's magic, and it's like, okay, that makes sense. But then it, like, again, the main thing being, like, to your point, JJ, how the hell did Wanda in the first place? Like it was like, did you had to catch her off guard or something? You know what I mean? And but even still, like, my big gripe is, why Wanda in this timeline did she just go, well, you know what, fuck it, we're taking over the world?
Yeah,
because she's like, it's not implying that like this is like a second personality or like a side effect of, or it's like, or maybe it is. It's just not something very well done, like that the virus itself is like altering somebody in that way. Because the way she talks, the way she goes, that is just Wanda from Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
Like, everything, the way she was addressing and scheming, like that's just Wanda from Multiverse of Madness before the Darkhold. You know what I mean? We got a Wanda without a Darkhold right now too, and she's going cuckoo. So like, JJ, I think you hit the nail on the head. If they would have just kept her strictly as an antagonist, somebody who's just troubled from the beginning, and the powers were just always altering her, this would make, like, it wouldn't be an issue. But the fact that we've had like projects, and especially in Endgame and Infinity War, Wanda was a hero. She was like a main contributor. So now we have her just flipping the switch now out of nowhere.
I think we could fix this whole thing if they were, one, a little bit more consistent about how fast the infection rate happens.
Yeah.
The vast majority of the show, it was instant, pretty much. And that I like fast turning zombies, cool. That's fine. The only two times that it wasn't that was when Red Guardian got bit and then nothing happened.
Yeah, that was crazy to me.
When Hope had the cut and she was inside of another zombie and she didn't get infected that quickly. That one I'm willing to maybe excuse because it was a different transmission method, but that's directly to her bloodstream, so it should be faster, not slower.
Right.
Whatever. If that was consistent all the time, then zombies getting the jump on Wanda, like just her getting overwhelmed and taking a hit in battle, and that one hit ending you, cool. I can live with that. And then if we do the other part of this, where it's like the virus is just using her as a vessel, essentially, and she has power that can kind of be manipulated with it to manipulate the other zombies, then she could be the driving factor that then got characters like Captain Marvel and Thanos infected. Because again, it's that idea of one wound and you're done.
Right.
Like, you have to fight flawlessly, otherwise you're getting infected.
Or like, instead of having it like be derived of the quantum zone, have it derived from Wanda's magic.
That would be cool too.
Because also, like, even if like she got hit, they showed that she has like an extreme amount of like resistance in a way, because she is not a thrall in any stretch of the imagination. You know what I mean? Like, she's patient at times. Like, she was prepping. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then again, it's like, unless they were like trying to show that the virus was evolving in a way, like while it was you know, in its host, it's still to me like some of the other characters that they didn't like. If it was evolving, why weren't we seeing some of the other high Q like characters like Tony, even like Cap, who is a strategic, you know, fighter? Like, why weren't we seeing that in other characters? So I think if they would have just had this virus be like a product of Wanda's magic from the start, it would make sense on how she's kind of just cuckoo right off the rip. Why she got infected in the first place, and then you could just go with the whole storyline of, okay, because it's from her magic and her magic is very powerful, it affects beings like Carol, Thanos, Thor,
Namor.
Namor and stuff like that.
Namor's also a dumb one to get infected, being in the ocean.
Yeah, and Talokan, which is supposed to be hidden from the surface world, he's basically also a demigod. Like, the one thing that can weaken him is like harsh sunlight or like heat, as we saw in Wakanda Forever. So it is just very odd that he got infected like that, and like all of his people as well, like the Talokanians or whatever. Yeah, like
just say Atlanteans.
Yeah, Atlanteans, whatever. Yeah, I mean that's what it's based off of. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just very, very odd. But like I did, as I said, like I did like some of these characters like having such like godly powers that they can just destroy mere mortals. Like Namor just rips people apart. Carol literally vaporizes Kate Bishop, and like I think and Thanos vaporizes Rocket with the Power Stone, like, and Groot. Like I thought like that all made sense to me, so I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, we want to talk about the Power Stone. The Power Stone got one of the biggest goddamn buffs there is. I mean,
well, he actually fucking used it.
Yeah,
right?
Like, I mean, it's like, but like I think that's just like that's just a narrative advantage you get whenever you tell a story of anything like where you go into this like the handcuffs are off. You know what I mean? You get more liberties of just being more loose and kind of carefree because there's no limitations, especially for like characters who are normally heroes, you know what I mean? Or they're fighting without restraint, you know what I mean? They're just fighting to fight, killing to kill. So like you see those moments with Namor or like Carol and stuff like that. So like Thor to an extent, you know what I mean? Like, so that makes sense. I mean, but like there are good things that I did enjoy about this. Like I'm not trying to dog completely on it.
Right.
Because the show does visually is great. Like it's beautiful to look at. Elizabeth does a fantastic job voicing. I'm glad.
Oh, yeah.
Like the fact she came back for this, like it was fantastic. Like she did excellent work. Like Wanda as itself was fantastic. I may not like the fact that we were recycling her as a villain again, but she's a good villain. Like when you know what I mean? At the end of the day, she's got the right power set, the right vibe to it all. And Elizabeth does a great job delivering very chilling lines.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I also liked finally seeing like characters again that we haven't seen for a very long time. Obviously, Shang-Chi was a great like to finally see him again and Simu Liu getting to play this character again or voice the character. I thought it was like really cool how like he gets bitten and Wenwu, his dad, just like transfers the rings onto his arm to like as like a tourniquet to stop the infection from spreading. I thought that was really, really cool. And then like Icarus from Eternals, like we finally got Eternals to come back, and Icarus is like fighting Captain Marvel to keep her from like destroying the rest of the Earth. Like,
and I love the storytelling that they had with that. With just like that, they are legit just two powerhouses that have just been going back and forth just a long time. Like, it kind of makes sense. It's like we finally see like an Eternal, you know what I mean? Like kind of living up to what their original like, you know, design was protecting the planet as a whole. And I mean, this was also timeline wise, this was before Icarus went, you know, he turned to leaf, you know what I mean? And tried to, you know, raise a sentinel, not Sentinel.
Celestial.
Yeah. The Valley of the Broken Gods was definitely my favorite beat in this whole show.
Yes.
And that's something that like this medium does really well. Not to mention like the fact that Deadpool's in the universe now, so things can be rated R, and they're just like, okay, let's make a show like Invincible. But just the sheer power that we see from a lot of the characters is really, really cool. like I was telling y'all in the chat, it's just like I don't see any way for a zombie virus to work in the Marvel universe if it's not still giving them access to their powers, because there's just no circumstance where the powered beings of this world cannot defeat zombies. Just none. But then you make the zombies fast and still somewhat intelligent and have access to their powers. And holy crap, this is a threat that nobody's prepared for.
Right. Because you're not prepared for something that's just thriving on instinct. Like if the purpose is to just kill and destroy. It's not like a villain that might have like other means of like, all right, I'm not gonna just simply destroy the planet because like I want to rule it, you know what I mean? Like with the zombie virus, it adds a little different layers to it all. And then plus there's like that emotional attachment for survivors because it's like, all right, you got to fight somebody who was once your comrade, one of your friends, close friends, and ultimately might have to put them down again. You know what I mean? So it's like, shit, adds layers to that.
And like to the point of it just being mindless and only being driven by the fact that they want to eat. That's one thing that this medium really does well too. Like the scene against Infinity Hulk, which was one of my other favorite moments, just Infinity Hulk, period.
Yeah.
But when they do that pan out shot and it's just in a massive army of zombies coming in on that scene, like that's something that's really difficult to represent in live action media. The Walking Dead's done it once or twice with gigantic hordes, but like even that's really difficult to pull off in mediums that aren't animated.
They do a good job with the whole expressing with the threat of zombies as a whole is the mob itself, not necessarily one zombie. However, with this, they do add the nice fold of, like you were saying, JJ, these are zombies that have power still. You got that extra fold of certain zombies. They're not they're a horde of themselves.
Yeah.
It makes it feel like a Resident Evil game. Like you've got just the regular things that you have to deal with, but then you've got the bosses that are really hard to deal with.
Yeah, and then you're just like, okay, cool.
Yikes.
There's that.
It also, like, in a way that most of the Marvel properties don't really showcase, this really puts into perspective how not all the heroes get involved in all the things all the time. Like something like Captain Marvel versus Icarus. That's a fight that only Icarus can take on. Yep. Nobody else in this universe, maybe Thor, but Thor was sidelined, and but he's the only one that can do that, right?
Yeah.
And everybody is finding the battles that are their power level because that's just where everybody needs to sit in order for this to work at all. Everybody has to fight the fights that they can and let go of the fights that they can't. Like seeing heroes run away from something, finally, because it's something that they literally just can't handle, is really good. That's healthy for the universe, and keeping things like the Avengers don't get involved in every single threat a tangible guiding principle.
Yeah, and also like you're saying, recognizing where can we hold back and where we can't. Like Icarus was handling Carol. You, in theory, like they're like you had Hulk at some point, but he doesn't get come back till the end. He's a big gun. Thor is out of it. So as of right now, like you said, Icarus in this circumstance is the only one that can handle this right now. You know what I mean? And then like. But there's things like, for as much credit as like on certain things that I want to give, man, it's tough because I keep falling back to just the whole of the MCU has this bad habit, I think, of when they want to elevate a character, they ultimately are they're not even just like neglecting, they're pushing down other characters. And like as you brought up Thor, how many times do we have to see a grieving Thor in any state of the media? Like we're doing like a what if storyline. You're telling me that like that this is the Thor that like was coming off of the fact that he didn't aim for the head or something or right around that time. That Thor at the beginning of Endgame was pissed.
Yeah,
like he was fucking pissed. Like there was definitely guilt on his mind, 1,000%. You know what I mean? But he was like dead set on killing Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me that this dude, who is a god, who at the end of the day, he's an Asgardian, and they are all about fighting, and he's all about protecting. This man just fucking sidelines himself again. He's wounded by the Power Stone because, the Power Stone now all of a sudden just can destroy Stormbreaker because that
didn't make sense.
Well, you had Stormbreaker that could get thrown all the way through all Infinity gems, and then just gets turned to ash in the Power Stone. Whatever, cool. We'll just call us idiots. But it's just it's so frustrating that Thor could be such a great character to have in a moment like that. To just, even if you don't want to make him the all-star, you can make him just literally the foundation where this motherfucker he's meant to be a ruler. I'm tired of the MCU always downgrading his character development every time. He's grieving every time we see Thor. Or the only time we get to see him, they made him a joke.
Yeah.
What the hell? Why do we have this guy who could be an ultimate powerhouse? You get glimpses of what he could be, and then they're just all right, you had your moment.
Red Lightning Thor, that was a heck of a moment.
With the Bifrost too,
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we should be seeing all the time. If you want to throw your powerhouses around and have them do things like the Valley of the Broken Gods, why is Thor not one of those people?
Right. Or I don't mind because zombie Thor, because the running joke that I've seen and the thing that I agree with is literally you saw zombie Thor who got enhanced by Wanda's magic, but it's still Thor at the end of the day. Zombie Thor was stronger, just doing things that Thor could be doing on his own. There's certain aspects that of course he's enhanced, by Wanda's magic. There's no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, it's just you keep giving power boosts to Wanda, making her the villain, giving her all these crazy circumstances. Hell, this is a Wanda that still hasn't even touched the dark hole yet in this timeline.
Yeah.
So she can go even crazier if she really wanted to. But it's you legit have a god, and you just keep downgrading him, and then you get the other powerhouse of the Avengers, Hulk. What the hell? Great moment. Awesome seeing him with the Infinity Stones. The energy of that. Badass moment. From context clues, it looks like he's got to hold back so he doesn't destroy the world. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, though, why do we downgrade now all of a sudden the energy of the Infinity Stones? That when it was exploding and Hulk had to jump, when Bruce jumped in to save the world, was going to destroy the planet. But now all of a sudden you're telling me that all this energy and something as simple as a regular zombie can run up and hit him and not just even be fucking fucked up?
Yeah.
You downgraded the Infinity Stones then at that point. That means nothing.
Yeah, because one moment he literally punches Abomination into oblivion, and then the next moment he's literally just getting punched continuously and nothing's happening.
Yep.
Yeah. The only person I've seen, in the sense where it's okay, I can understand you going toe-to-toe is Thor in that zombie mode. But then again, it's because it's Thor and what he was. You're enhancing, again, a god. That makes sense.
I could take a whole episode that is just enhanced zombified Thor versus Infinity Hulk, and I'd be so happy with that.
Oh, 1,000%. This show as a whole, it made me realize this is it feels like a clip farm. Mm-hmm. You could just take individual fights, individual moments, and then boom, you're good to go. You don't need to. But then when you start trying to break down the story of it all, of why we're here, what's going on, it just gets messy because I frankly think zombie movies as a whole, they have a messy storyline anyways, because there's really no good outcome that can usually come out of it. Surviving is the best ending you're usually going to get in a lot of these situations. And even here, you don't get it. You don't get it. Wanda wins.
That does kind of take me to, I think, what some of my main gripes about the show are. Mm-hmm. The first is that it feels like they wanted to create a second show that was What If, but
Mhm.
inside of the universe of Marvel Zombies. Like all of these random things that we've never seen before, like Mad Max, Shang-Chi,
Yeah.
Infinity Hulk, where we have Ant-Man, but as a head with a cape. Like all of these weird zany things that they're
Blade
just
Knight.
throwing into the show randomly.
Yeah,
Blade
Blade
Knight,
Knight.
right? Or the
You got
City on the Sea. And it's like each one of these things feels like it's its own what if storyline. And they're
Yeah.
shoving it all into 2 hours of screen time. And it just doesn't work.
Right.
Never in my life have I watched a show where I have so often throughout the show had to pause to look something up so that I felt like I could keep up with what was going on. And that's not what the average viewership or viewer experience should be. Like, I know that they want to capitalize on all these characters that they don't have other places to throw them into, like Shang-Chi, and that's great. I like that for them. But this is the problem with trying to expand a universe as much as they are and not giving them themselves time to develop it. The reason that the comic books work when they do crossover events like this where everybody's involved is that they've had decades to develop all of these individual characters. So like that's plenty of time for people to get used to these things. And like that's the other major thing is that makes this a failure as a zombie show.
Mm-hmm.
I will say what they did really well as a zombie show is I think that it was a pretty decent plot line. Like the through line of one character is trying to get the thing to space to get the Nova Corps in. Cool. Like this is the goal that we're trying to follow. And then we've also got this opposing force representing the zombies, and they're starting to develop their zombie army so that they can amass power. And we see little bits of things going on throughout there. We get the whole Wakanda event that gets mentioned and then put away and then revealed to us later. Like that was a great way to show that story device. I get an overarching picture of what's happening across the entire world. World War Z, the book, did that same sort of thing, and that was really, really good. But what makes zombie shows hit is when the characters' deaths matter. Like, this show didn't pull punches. They were willing to kill anybody except Miss Marvel, which...
Right.
That's its own thing. But when I only get 2 hours of screen time and you show me every single character that's ever existed in phases 4 and 5 in that 2 hours, I don't have enough time to care about any of them dying. This is a brand new universe with new versions of these characters, as has been well established. And you want me to get attached to these characters in 5 minutes before you suddenly kill them. Cool. Not even the people on screen seem to be mourning that bad. Like Bucky said, I should be sad, but I'm not. What the heck?
Yeah.
I think the show tries to bank on the fact that a lot of the characters, though, that does show, other than unique variations, this show banks on the fact that you've seen everything up to this point already. You know these characters. Like they're not holding your hand and giving like long-winded introductions on who's so and so is. They're expecting at this point they know the audience at this point. It's like you know who these characters are. So I think that the show's banking on your attachment is already to these characters already, like going in. Like the moment you see your characters, like one of your favorite characters pop up, you already got the dread of, are they alive? Are they going to stay alive or are they not? Because like you're saying, people are dying quick. So it's like you kind of almost don't have that time to really kind of take a breath and take in that because you're like, fuck, I watched him die. Now, oh shit, now I got my other character I like. Are they going to make it now at this point? You know what I mean? Like, so I think the show, that was a strategy or like I think that was a goal by the show, was just to kind of keep people rolling with the punches and just expecting you to already have a built-in connection to characters.
I do like that, but I would rather have it be done from the perspective of let's only follow Kamala. Like, let's have her be the person we follow. And yes, they do that, but don't give me any background for other characters. Like, I don't need to see the beginning of the stuff with Shang-Chi and his group. Just like, oh, they're on the City in the Sea with Kamala's group. Cool. Now we have these characters we already know who just happen to be in this place, and they join our group temporarily, but then they die. Like, keep me focused on one character the entire show, and then have people join and leave that group.
Mhm.
I agree.
Or make it like 16 episodes instead of 4.
Yeah. I think them focusing on Kamala as much as they did, like I actually think that having this character who's meant to be a very positive character and someone that's meant to be like the hope of this universe of like, yeah, I think she worked really well in that, and Wanda's willing to use her and manipulate her because she also knows Kamala can be manipulated more than anybody else. So I kind of enjoyed that they chose Kamala to focus in on. So I liked that part of it. Obviously Blade Moon Knight, as we've talked about a little bit. I thought he was amazing. I love that Khonshu found another avatar because Mark Steven, like they passed away in this universe, so they're like, who's the next best thing?
What a host to pick.
Right?
Yeah.
And like,
You picked one of the best options that you could have, like, in that situation.
and
like,
he was just all in on it too. Unlike Mark, it was just like, cool, we are Moon Knight now.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know what? It was really cool. I'm glad they gave him like some like good light, because I think they're also trying to keep people's interested because they keep delaying this damn Blade movie. So it's like you got to keep people's interest in that shit. But there's quite cool moments with it. I like I said, this is like a clip form kind of a show for me. Like I could just settle for just watching certain bits of episodes,
Yeah.
and I'll be satisfied. One of the best things they did, it's how they handled Black Panther.
Yeah.
No voice acting. It was all overspeaking, narrated by Spider-Man in like moments, and it was perfect. Like if there were like this was like felt like another nod to Chadwick, because you didn't push the envelope. You didn't even try to have somebody do an impression or do anything like that. You didn't even. I like how they didn't even reuse lines, from the What If episodes. Like you have clips of his, audio. You can easily, chop something together for certain things, or even you could, like simply just get him saying Wakanda forever and stuff like that. Like that's an easy thing you could throw in, but I'm glad they didn't. And it was really cool to see Black Panther have his underdog moment, because he went up against Thanos, and it ultimately was a payoff because he sacrificed himself to take down Thanos.
Yeah.
And it was like, cool, respect. I loved it. Great job. Cool seeing Spider-Man in, honestly. Like this was, I personally kind of wished if we were getting Spider-Man in this situation, I wish Spider-Man would have filled the role of Kamala.
Yeah.
Because you want to talk about a character that just embodies hope. There's no character like Spider-Man when it comes to Marvel.
And Hope even like made a whole point about that
in the
What If episode.
Yeah, like Spider-Man is more. I'm not even talking about just MCU. I'm talking Marvel as a whole. Spider-Man is the character to represent hope.
Yeah,
it is Spider-Man without a question. Like Spider-Man in the Marvel universe is equivalent to how Superman is in DC.
Yeah,
like, and it's not even like a crazy thing to say. Like that's what it is. You know what I mean?
I felt like his powers were not very relevant, though. Like the whole train thing in the What If episode, cool. But his powers and how they translate to fighting zombies, not very useful.
No, I mean, I did like him using his webs to rip off zombies' heads on the battlefield.
Yeah,
that was
pretty
cool. But I do agree. It does feel like they traded Peter out for Kamala because they built him up in that What If episode. Then all of a sudden it's Kamala they're focusing on instead of Peter.
Go ahead. Yeah. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I think that they should have probably just stayed focusing on Peter, I guess, if they were gonna pick, because it's Spider-Man. But I didn't hate what they did with Kamala, though. So
they're trying to do a gimmick with the whole new Avengers thing, because even Thor, like, look, he's like, no, little one, you're the Avengers now. She can be, she is, but at the same time, though, it's like, why are we treating Spider-Man as if he's this old man? Like, Spider-Man is still young, like, in the grand scheme of things. Like, if there's anybody who should take on, like, the Captain America, like, leader of Avengers, issuing the new era, it's Spider-Man.
Right.
You could have Kamala there. Kamala would be fine.
Yeah.
But it's like you have your golden child in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like MCU has fumbled Spider-Man unbelievably as a whole.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is due to Sony, though.
Well,
Unfortunately,
unfortunately, Sony has played a factor into this. But like
Right.
the
That's
thing
why they
is,
only used him for one episode.
right? But like still though, like if you had him for one episode, use your Top Gun for the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like throw him in the end. Don't kill him. Don't like play this off because like there's the legality if he can't be a zombie.
Yeah.
So like if you got him for one moment, use your trump card at a key moment. Spider-Man would have been a great fucking just character to throw in towards the end to inspire that hope, to play the role that Spider-Man's really good for. And then it would have been great for Kamala to get inspiration and then build up her role in all this. That would have been a great way of doing it. But, they keep throwing they get into this bad habit of throwing characters just out at you. Like Marvel used to be good at like how they handled like introducing characters, like playing characters in certain roles, giving them certain tasks and stuff. But then like lately it's just they throw out a name to just throw out a name.
Yeah, there were so many references in this show that felt like they were just there for the sake of, oh, do you remember that? Do you remember this thing that happened? Like in the What If episode, Bucky throwing the end of the line thing in Cap's face felt so inauthentic for that moment. I get what we're doing, but at the same time, it's just so oversaturated. Like, yeah, let your audience understand the in-jokes, but you can do that with so much more subtlety in a way that makes them feel like you actually respect us as an audience rather than spoon-feeding things.
Right. It's like how you were not holding our hand with character introductions and getting attached to it. It's like, hey, do the same thing with certain interactions. It's like, hey, or if you're going to highlight something, take the time to highlight it. If it's that important to where you're going to not be subtle about something, actually put a little effort into it. You know what I mean?
To the point of Peter versus Kamala as the leading characters, though, I don't mind either way who leads. Like Kamala being the character who is the one that survives, cool. Like any zombie show, we get the one character that just makes it through. The
Right.
statistics of that sort of situation is some people survive, some people don't. Somebody is going to be the person that survives all the things that happen to them. That's just how that works. And if it's Kamala, cool. What I couldn't get behind was Wanda being so focused on Kamala specifically. Like, why did it need to be her? Anybody could take that transmitter to space. It doesn't have to be Kamala. And
you literally have a zombie Thor.
Right. And so I looked it up, and in an interview with one of the people that worked on the show, they said that it was because Kamala's specific powers could be used as a way to sort of focus the energy gotten by taking Infinity Hulk. If that's the case, awesome. Show us that in the show. Mm-hmm. Make us understand why your characters are doing the things that they're doing.
Right.
Also on a tangent, let's be real. None of this show would have happened without Blade Knight. Like, Kamala would have died so many times over without that guy behind her saving her ass every single time.
Yep. Yeah, I agree completely. It's just crazy to me. Like I enjoyed the show, but I also understand everything you guys are saying and agree with it. Because, geez, I just feel like this show could have been better. I feel like the MCU has taken a direction into just something that I don't recognize from when we were watching like Phase 3, especially like in leading up to Infinity War and Endgame. Like, the first 3 phases were so well structured. Yes, were there things that they're still finally finishing up on so many years later, but we're kind of like, we're getting something that is not what it used to be. It's not so well structured anymore. Like, we're not getting a solid through line anymore. We literally switched antagonists from Kang to Doctor Doom, and we've barely built up Doctor Doom at all. So,
well, I think what's coming down to is though, because I was thinking the same thing, but part of me was like, is it just nostalgia that's blinding me to this? Like, maybe am I being like a Marvel boomer right now, where I'm like, back when the movies came out, they used to mean something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I think you're right. It's not the same magic, and I think a lot of it has to do with just, frankly, I can't blame them for trying to be a money grabbing, because it is such an easy money grab to do.
Yeah.
But we got oversaturated so quickly.
Yeah,
like
we did.
when it came to the Disney Plus shows, as great as it is, I love getting content. Trust me, like more superhero stuff, the better for me. But I think it got down to the point of we started to expect too many things to connect, like it did for the Infinity Saga.
Mm-hmm.
That now I felt like Marvel at this point kept trying to play the same game of, we're going to drop a bunch of pieces. We don't know where they're going to go yet, but we're dropping pieces in here. Maybe we'll pull it together. You know what I mean? And they don't even know what the big project is. Maybe it's with Doctor Doom. Maybe that is going to be the big piece that they're going to start plucking from and start putting things together right now. So I think right now the ultimate thing, that the What If series was good and bad, because it kind of like just it opened more, doors and possibilities. But at the same time, it's like Marvel, like you just need to, like, at this point, just take a step back. If you're going to create shows, honestly, 4 episodes, like doing shorts and stuff like that, that could be good. Do 1 episodes and just do shit that ultimately, I don't want to say doesn't matter, but like it had, like from the start of this show or movie to the end of this movie, that's it. There's like, we have Easter eggs, we have all this stuff, but guess what? This is the centered viewpoint. This is all we're going to worry about as of right now. Because I think they keep getting ahead of themselves. They keep making movies trying to like set up something, but they're forgetting to just finish the goddamn movie and create something decent.
They really need to either go in the direction of, we have these independent things happening within this world that we've built, or everything is connected. They keep going back and forth between the two ideas, and they screw all of their properties when they do that, because then you get things like this show where you're bringing everybody into the show instead of in like way too short of a time, and it's just thing after thing after thing after thing just for the sake of doing these things.
Shock value, and then also like, then you got people like me who are big Hulk fans. Hulk has not had a real, like, I want, like, as much as I loved Infinity Hulk, it was more of a slap in the face than anything, because we're like, oh shit, Hulk is becoming like a real, like, this is like a real pivotal moment for the character. Like, he's like holding the power of the Infinity Stones. Like, he saved the planet. He's like this very powerful being. Just for him to just be a glass cannon.
Yeah.
And like just get wrapped up. And it's just like, to me, it's like, well, damn. Well, why give me that in the first place?
I do really like the parallel to Atlas, though. I know I'm going completely away from what you said. But like, in all of the ways that they could have sidelined Hulk, this is perhaps my favorite that they could have done. Like, he is the only thing preventing like the destruction of the planet, basically.
Yeah. I dug it. It was like sweet, but then like as quickly as we had it, well, here's Wanda, and power's gone now, and you're like,
right. Well, they keep introducing power levels that are like unparalleled, and then they immediately parallel them and make it so that the power levels don't matter.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of having the character who is absolutely unstoppable if you're going to stop them 2 minutes later?
Right. Yeah. Or like, the thing being, you had this pivotal, we had for the longest time, the MCU said the power of the Infinity Stones were just this devastating force. Like JJ said, it was an unparalleled power. And the only thing that could stop the stones was the stones itself. And then what happened? They it caused a crazy after effect. Like, we saw what it did to Thanos. You know what I mean? Hell, we saw like what it did to Hulk. What it did to Hulk when he did this, just did a regular snap.
Right.
People back. Like, that was just what the stones did. So it's like, you have this level of power being the Infinity Stones. And Wanda herself wants the power of the stones. So it's telling you, okay, this power is something that will boost hers. She goes in and literally it was like no contest. She just easily absorbed it from him. Like there was prep. She sent hordes of waves, but I don't think the waves should have been that much of an issue for him. Zombie Thor is like the one exception I can think of, but even still, you boosted Thor, made him this threat, you enhanced him, but it felt like when you gave Hulk the powers, you forgot what Hulk can do on his own. Like Hulk on his own goes toe to toe with Thor.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me you have a boosted Hulk, but yet after one fight with Thor, all of a sudden it's just like, oh yeah, he's that containing that power so much he can't fight no more. He's like just sitting there because literally Wanda like speed blitzed the fuck out of him, rolled up, gave a chilling fucking line. I'm not gonna lie, dope ass fucking line. You know, like when she was talking to him. But like, it's just like what are we doing? Like, why give me that in the first place? Like, or like now you're just literally just threw the Infinity Stones out the window. You're like, all right, so yeah, that power she needed. Did she really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did she really? And then again, like if she's absorbing the power kind of with ease. Why does she need Kamala to channel it? She's doing just fine. Like, yeah,
it does seem like some of the power levels are inconsistent when you're comparing a powerful character to another powerful character, for sure.
Yeah, it gets messy, and it's not going to be perfect. And let's just call it what it is. At this point, Wanda is the MCU's baby. At this point,
yeah,
like, going
pretty
forward,
much, yeah.
Wanda is going to be the character that's going to ultimately set the Wanda is going to be the scene setter for a lot of things. Ever since WandaVerse.
Yeah, WandaVision, yeah. I think
WandaVerse. It might as well be WandaVerse at this point. Ever since WandaVision, like Wanda is like the tone setter. Problems are going to revolve around her. Hell, whenever we get a new Doctor Strange movie, he's going to be suffering the consequence he did when he took on the Scarlet Witch.
Right.
So, I mean,
yeah, I think every point you made is valid. I think we'll hit a couple more things to finish this off. So we got the cliffhanger, obviously. So they basically had Kamala taking this deal that Wanda makes her. So it's pretty much what happened in Ironheart. If anybody watched Ironheart with Mephisto showing up and Ironheart making the deal with him. So what were your guys' feelings on this like cliffhanger ending? Because it seems like we might get a season 2 of Zombies based on how this ended. So
I don't want a season 2. I would rather it just be Wanda won, the world's dead, Nova Corps destroys the world. That's how this story ends. Like, because the Nova Corps is monitoring that.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they haven't just destroyed the planet already. I legitimately don't understand why that hasn't been the decision. But like, if they were holding out to see if they could, like, the people on Earth could handle it themselves, this is distraught. They can't destroy the world right now and just have it be done.
Yeah, in reality, the moment, like, if I would have started hearing that, like, hey, as Guardians are getting turned, I would have been like, yeah, no, wrap it up. Because, yeah, and I'm with you. I don't want a season 2 because what's going to happen is Nova Corps is going to get involved, and then all of a sudden Wanda's too powerful for the Nova Corps. And then again, now we're going to have a situation of you're just creating this bottomless monster that is just going to
destroy everything.
It's just eventually it's just like either she wins or she doesn't.
Yeah.
And like so the cliffhanger, like JJ said, it's like why I would have rather just gotten it. All right, hey, we already hinted that Wanda has just won.
Yeah.
Like at this point, barring probably, I don't even think a Celestial themselves could probably. There's only like 2 things that I could think of that could like ultimately put an end to it all at this rate. Is probably the Nova Corps, and that's just them nuking the planet, or, and this is me throwing out wild cards because this is just kind of what we're in here. You get somebody at like a Galactus level that comes in and is like,
yeah,
dude, I'm here to munch on the world. And oh well.
I think Galactus would enjoy eating the Infinity Stone power.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be like at that point, like that's like the richest But then again, the thing is, like, if we got those moments, the way that the MCU just loves it, like I said, I think at this point of season 2 would be just kind of more frustrating because then the looming final, like, red button being the Nova Corps of destroying everything, they're going to get outshined. If we get a season 2, I guarantee you the Nova Corps is going to come in, and they're going to be like, oh, wow, this is far greater than we expected. She is just so powerful now. Because, yeah, jackass, she took the Infinity Stones. You let this happen.
Yeah.
I think that the mere fact that there's a cliffhanger is like a big part of the problem we were talking about earlier too. It's like they set themselves up for the expectation that they're going to continue all of these storylines by leaving their stories unfinished when they tell them. You could have given a finality to this season and still made a season 2. You can tell a complete story in 4 episodes and then continue that story later with a new development that just is a natural continuation. It's done all the time. They don't have to have cliffhangers on every single property they have.
Yeah, I think we've spoken about this on our old podcasts of like a lot of the stuff we've seen, specifically after Endgame. We've gotten so many cliffhangers, like, or post-credit scenes that go nowhere. Eternals, Thor, Love and Thunder, Loki did it leading into season 2. So I mean, we've gotten things that are open-ended for another season or another movie, and then half of them don't come true. So
I'm glad you threw that up, and now this is going to be like a little rant and a little off-topic here. But if everything's following the timeline here, and everything's kind of just a mess right now, and at this point, Loki is the god of the stories. What the fuck do you think? Was Loki just like at one point just sitting there watching me like, damn, that's crazy. Like, you just watched your whole people, Thor included, your brother, and this is a redeemed Loki at this point.
yeah,
like, probably it's just a role of I cannot interfere. I can understand that. But at the same time, though, part of me, like, Loki's still himself, though, because of the love he has for Thor, like, that he grew to have. Part of me feels like, yo, Loki would have popped in and be like, yo, Wanda, let me just remind you real quick. You're doing a cool thing right now, but I'm a different level here. I'm letting this happen.
yeah.
But, like, that's the thing, though, I was just thinking about, because, like, with Loki season 2, Loki's just kind of, at this point, because of time travel bullshit, Loki's just kind of there. He's watching this shit.
Right.
And who knows? Maybe that's the season 2 in the what ifs. Wanda's going to get to the point where she's going to go consume the universe because they're going to reamp this power, this virus, to where it's consuming Celestials, Galactus in there, and then Loki's going to be like, no. Ultimate cameo. You're going to have Tom come in to voice it, and then it's just going to end. And it's like, all right, we told a great story. It's like,
I can see it happening.
We just use cameos to solve a problem.
Yay. Yeah, I can totally see it happening. All right. We have 2 more things. What was the best kill in your opinion in Marvel Zombies?
Ooh. As much as it hurt me.
Go ahead.
There's 2. One, because my favorite, just because it came from one of my favorite fights, was Infinity Hulk just curb stomping zombie Thor. Because it was like, just seeing Hulk dominate again after so long of being a joke, it just felt good to see. For as short-lived as it was just good to see. So that's my number one, because it was just a dope fight. But then the flip side of it all, as much as I hated to see him go, just seeing the sheer difference in power of Blade Knight trying to go take on Thor, Thor not even looking, just calling down that beam of lightning to just evaporate him, was just like, oh man.
I'll give you 2. My first is Red Guardian. And the reason for that is that it's the only time I ever felt the true impact of a character's death on another character, other than Yelena, when Yelena died. But we didn't really see her die per se, which is why I'm not counting that. Right. But like the moment where Kamala is just holding him back with her shield and staring at him as a turned zombie, like, that's what a zombie show really should be delivering is the emotional trauma of losing these people that you love over and over and over again. The other moment, I don't remember. There were so many Pym particle shenanigans going on. I don't remember who it was that killed who, but when someone was really small and it just was like moving up the bloodstream or whatever of the giant zombie and then exploded in their head. Ugh. Yeah. I will say the worst death though was probably Riri, because like what was this injection thing that she did? Said that this wasn't the way I wanted to test it, and then we just never see her again. What happened? I need to know.
I don't know.
And possibly season 2, where she makes a reveal in episode 3 at the very end, just for her to die 20 minutes into episode 4.
I'd laugh so hard. I just like off of like pure physical brutal kill, I kind of liked like the Mortal Kombat style kill on Zemo, where like the zombie just reaches through his chest and like rips him apart. That was pretty cool. Or like Jimmy Woo, where he just gets like taken apart piece by piece. Like I thought some of those were just really fun classic zombie kills. So
very much tangentially, since we're just calling out moments, I meant to say it earlier. But when they're falling out of the sky and Blade Knight just goes, this is no big deal. Stands upright, like cool.
Yeah,
dude.
Flexing. Just 100% of the time, this man is aura farming, and he is doing it spectacularly.
It comes with the business of being an Avatar Khonshu. On top of the fact, Blade himself just aura farmed. You put those two things together, it is just nonstop aura farming.
Yeah, it was good. All right, letter grade. What grade would you guys give it from like a scale of A to F?
C for the cows that the Skrulls wanted to steal.
Yeah, you were really confused on that.
Why were the Skrulls even in this show?
Because they have to reference Secret Invasion, apparently, which is their worst project that they've ever put out.
The Skrulls in itself are already a problem, and you're telling me that there's zombies, and then, oh yeah, the Skrulls are here. I would be like, dude, I can't take this anymore. Just send me to the moon. I'm going home. I'm going somewhere else. Fuck this planet. It's cooked.
But no, for real, a C. Because, like, on the one hand, there are a lot of really good moments in this show. There's a lot of cool stuff. If I ever watch it again, which I probably will, I'm going to have a really enjoyable time. Decent through plot line, decent, not great, with one or two things not explained that left on a cliffhanger. But watching a show shouldn't be work. And it just, as far as zombie shows go, it just didn't deliver what I expect out of a zombie movie or a zombie television show.
For sure. Will?
I'm going to give it a C too. If you were to ask me this, a few days ago, I'd probably say like a D. But like the more we were talking about it, the more I was thinking on it. I was like, it was just a good time. And sometimes, you know what? You just need a good movie a show. Just turn your brain off. Don't think too much on it. Enjoy the visuals. They did great work with the animation. Like I said, Elizabeth kicked ass once again in the Wanda role. She's fantastic. Like, this is not like my criticism is not trying to like hate on Wanda or like,
right.
Listen, like, is she gonna, like, I said in the chat, I'm like, they're turning her into a Mary Sue character.
Right.
Part of me believes it. Other part of me is just like, it's her time. It's her moment in the spotlight. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But, like, it is what it is. I give it a C. I see why people would enjoy it because I've seen a lot of, like, very different, like, opinions on this show. Like, outside, like, either people really love it or they really hate it. Like, there's, like, very few people in the middle like me, I think. But, yeah, no, good moments. Like I said, I'll probably watch certain moments of episodes, again, just for, like, certain, clips and stuff like that. But outside of that, actually, it's probably something I'll just YouTube at some point. It's like, oh, man, I want to see that fight again. Just YouTube that.
Yeah. I'm going to probably give it a C+. I agree with what you guys are saying. I think just like some of the really cool moments do stand out. And it's cool to see some characters again that I really enjoyed that we haven't seen in forever. that I question whether we're going to see them again in the live action MCU. So I mean, at least Shang-Chi is confirmed to be in Doomsday, so at least there's that. But
Real
yeah,
quick, do you guys prefer this show as a whole, or do you prefer just the one episode that we got in What If?
I was happy to see it at least get followed up on, because I just enjoyed that episode. But maybe what you guys are saying, maybe either make it a little bit longer, like JJ said, or maybe it does serve better as like one episode kind of thing. I don't know.
If I had to choose between what we have now and only the one What If episode, I would choose what we have now, simply because I love zombies and I love Marvel, and I love that I get to see Marvel zombies.
Yeah.
However, this show either should have had a lot of the content cut out so that we could focus on a more intentional story that happens over the course of 2 hours, or it should have been at least 8 episodes. I think the perfect number would probably have been 12. They could have expanded on all of the character groups enough so that even for people who haven't seen these shows before, like, we get some really meaningful connections. Because not only is it bringing in a lot of characters that we do already know, so it's okay to kill those people, but things like Kamala and Red Guardian, that relationship is not one we've ever seen before. I would like to see the time developed through the relationships within that group so that I can get attached to these characters' attachments to each other. Not just the characters, but attached to their attachments. So 12 episodes would be my preference.
See, I'm like on the opposite. Maybe it's just because I told Jake before we started, I was like, it's probably just not my cup of tea. You know, in terms of like premise behind it, because like I didn't like a lot of the story choices they make. I think they told a good, like they were good with telling a story. I just didn't like a lot of the choices they made. So like for me personally, I felt like that this kind of stuff would have been just good in one episode, especially if it was already a follow-up. Because the way I view it is like if you have super powered zombies and you are already if you're going in and you're like, we are going to take some of these big time hitters and we are taking them away from the forces of good. In my mind, you are ultimately just creating a doomsday story to where this is where it all goes down. Like, this is where the world fades to darkness. I'd rather it just be wrapped up. Like, no cliffhanger. It's like, hey, we're intending to tell a dark story. Guess what? End a dark story. Because, like, that's what gets me, like, with the cliffhanger, especially in something like this, is we have this dark tone of despair all the way through. And you don't even end it, really, with a glimmer of hope. You end it with a deal. Like, that's still just a loss.
And that's why I wanted it to not be a cliffhanger and just be, okay, it's done. We lost.
I would have rather it been that. Concluded. Ended.
Yeah.
Like, because guess what? If we do get a season 2 with this deal, guess what? You're starting with a whole dark undertone up until probably the end, or like towards the middle, where you're going to get a beacon of hope, and then it's going to get smothered out again, and then at the very end, you might pay through. I would rather just keep the dark undertone. Guess what? Hey, at this point, really, with everything Wanda has already conquered in this with this season of it, if they do a season 2, realistically, you cannot, barring sending God himself, you know, like in the Marvel universe, or like something like Galactus, you're not going to resolve this. Like, logistically speaking, it's not going to get solved by force.
Yeah.
Because, like, where do you go from there? She already absorbed the power of the Infinity Stone. So, like, that, you're talking about, like, literally reality warping powers.
Right.
Like realistically, like, if they brought in the Nova Corps at this point, it's not going to do anything.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, with that, I think we're good to end it here. But thanks as always, you guys, for joining me. And we'll see you back for more Marvel content in the future next time on the Tribe of Nerds.
Fire.